Mate, let's not get onto the whole fruit topic from last week. That was a discovery about you that took me far too long. What, 4.5, 5 years to learn?
It made it onto Reddit. It was... Honestly, I took some heat. Everybody who joined in on that Reddit post, I did read it all. Thank you very much. It was a very amusing read the next morning, put it that way.
Amusing is a way of saying that you came to that realization that you've gone all this way through life not understanding how wrong you are.
I took some real heat over it. I knew that there would be unpopular opinions. I'm just not a big fruit fan, and I know some people really are. Yeah, it was. It really did garner some discussion. Put it that way.
Well, Shaiko acknowledging exactly what we touched on the previous map. Take them nades away from him, and it's like taking the hair off Samson. The man just seems to fall by the wayside and become a hell of a lot weaker. And now the Legion's being taken away as well. Target bans galore. And why wouldn't you, given how well he played on the previous map? The interesting thing you probably say about him playing Ash on the previous is, well, it's the same gun, so what's the problem? Both running the G36C. I think for him, it really does come down to the one, information that he's getting out of playing on the Iana, and two, how much space he can make with those frag grenades in back pocket. So severely hampered so far is the best word to describe him. And here we are going to see a little bit of a change up. We are going to see the Nook being brought along. It was what Eminem were playing on the previous map. So at least they get some balance back and have some nades on side with the sledge inside as well. But Nello's on towards that clash, which I think we've all seen many times, Tim. It can be an absolute nuisance if you aren't equipped to deal with it.
Oh, it could be a pure sticking point. Yeah, absolutely, no two ways about it. The thing is, like, look at the situation. We came into map 1 and we looked at the map bans and we thought, maybe this favours BDS. But MNM have just played so fantastically well on Clubhouse. You know, they've really kept, you know, as we've said, Renshiro LMs in a box. You know, the majority of the rest of the BDS have struggled to get into it. I look at this and I think, you know, when we were making that point, I said, you know, BDS Cafe is a map that BDS had beat Eminem on 2 weeks ago, and you look at that and you think, well, yeah, it should, you know, it should follow then that they come and win again, essentially. But it just, with the way Eminem have played on Clubhouse there, it just makes me look at this and think, is there really an opportunity where MNM, yeah, they've been beaten on it 2 weeks ago, but they've gone and learnt from that, and they're just going to come back and, you know, they know how to play BDS now. Is that, you know, was that loss what they needed to come in here, take Cafe and go straight to the major? I think that there's a possibility. Who knows? But what I do know is BDS are going to have to step up as a team for this one if they want to, you know, if they want to get a map and take us to 3.
It's another saying I say an awful lot, is that on any given day, a team will either be 50% better than normal or 50% worse than normal. You really can see a wide range of performances from a given team where one day you watch them and like, these guys have just won like a major. They've just smashed every team going around the world, and yet here they are getting destroyed by what's arguably a weak team in the top tier of play. What's happened? And it can just be that on the day you've just got out the wrong side of the bed, that the comms aren't there, the energy isn't alive, people aren't really hitting the shots or feeling it on that day. It's a serious problem that a lot of teams can really suffer, and honestly, when it comes to big events, teams can get knocked out. I mean, BDS know it more than anyone. Thinking back to SI a couple of years ago, they went out in 3rd or 4th place because they just did not wake up and play their usual game of Siege when it mattered most against TSM on Oregon.
Sort of unable to find a connection with the toss of the Nitro there, and does a little bit of the sledger's work for him, opening up more of a vertical. You can see from that top down what has happened, and everybody from MNM has scattered out of sight essentially, apart from Nello, who's got that shield to hide behind, so he's somewhat safe from the verticals above. But everybody else now dips out, and they're going to look to fight from elsewhere. We have the utility coming in from BDS. We've got the track stingers being dropped. We've got the smokes being deployed. They're not really in a position to drop just yet, but it is going to come very, very soon.
I was going to say, yeah, they've kind of tried to force a bit of movement out of the defensive side there to catch someone out, and only really late do Eminem make that move. It's Nafe who gets caught out by Shaiko, so it does pay off for them. This time, though, it has to be the real deal. But the Clash is stationed at the doorway. We've got Tyrant on the other side with smokes waiting as well. They've got all the stall tools that they need over this side of the map to really make BDS feel this one. But Nello is burning up alive. Will he go down? Yes, he will. What a well-placed Capital Fireball as well, just forcing him out and seeing him cooked to a crisp. And here we go yet again, Tim. It's Shaiko on a mad one, a 4K to start off round 1. But that will not settle the concerns that we had back on Clubhouse.
No, not quite yet. Night and day different, I must say, this attack compared to the BDS attack on Clubhouse that we saw. That was just very well worked as a team. They controlled space. They, it's always Cafe that I think about when I think about the roam clearance, and I mention it quite often from BDS's point of view on the attack, and how teams can look, confident moving through a map. We saw it with Leak Effect then on the Jackal, straight into Red Stairs drop, straight down into mining, and it's just that confidence and speed that BDS move with on Cafe. They are so difficult to stop on the attack, and that's something that MNM need to figure out, and part of the answer there is going to be, I think, playing to stop those drones, whether that be the Solus, the Mozzie, the Mute, using whatever combination you can when you're not on the top floor to prevent BDS from taking that top floor so quickly, will be a positive for MNM. But BDS otherwise very, very comfortable and confident, got all the verticals they needed, avoided the danger of nitros, dealt with the clash extremely well. Nello had nowhere to go. If you're wondering why don't you just run, he's got Shaiko holding a line of sight, so he needs to be careful about where he exposes himself to from the rear side, but also he's got a counter on the far right of him that he can't vault over without dropping his shield. He just didn't have time to do anything effectively, and all he could really do was stand and wait to die. So really well played from BDS.
And there's mirrors being deployed as well in and around storage, just really turning the center of that top floor into a bit of a fortress. A couple of players able to man that, one playing in towards planks, one playing inside a bathroom, and you control a very good portion of that top floor, making it hard for the attackers to really get control without being stared down by one of those black mirrors. But the other side, equally, Tim, have got some real commanding gadgets here, especially looking towards Leak Effect playing on the Ying. Candela's already being tossed out as well. This one more in towards the top side. Smoke's coming out the back of it as well. Is this a quick hit coming out from BDS?
Certainly could be. You've got to wonder, if they don't go with all that utility being expended, then, what are they going to do without it? Leak Effect's now dropped down underneath. That's all the Candela's gone. It's a smoke canister gone. It's a nade used. And what have they really got for it? What have they exchanged that utility for? And at the minute, the answer, Des, is not very much. There's still a player
who is it?
Wedged inside of Cocktail by the bomb chassis. They're not moving. And so I feel like BDS maybe haven't got as much bang for their buck as they might have liked out of that.
They really wanted to try and force, I believe it's Nello sat at the top end of Cocktail to run when those Candelas came on through, just get himself into an air quote safer position. But he held his ground, tucked in deeper into the corner, and 2 frags of smoke and 4 Candelas. Nothing forced him away, and so BDS have burnt everything, like you say, and got nothing in response. Still a couple of black eyes around as well, a little bit of assistance coming on through. Solotov seeing that bullet almost go straight through his chest, but narrowly missing by just a few centimeters there. And now it's Usis on the downstairs looking to challenge with the C4 in back pocket. MNM have again got a brilliant read on this, but Nello finally gets found out through the soft wall. Chaiko finding his man.
There will be a response coming out from MNM, though, that leaves us 3 versus 3 as kills just start to rain in both directions. But MNM are holding on pretty well. 45 seconds left to go. Solotov is low health, but other than that, they should have been in a decent position, apart from Renshiro just wandering his way through sight and picking up the man. Users does manage to get the trade, though, and he's ready for the push. He's ready for the second coming through. Shaiko's just trying to relocate here. He's got to find his man, and he does, as if he ever misses. Honestly. Finds another unreal round from Shaiko once again, yet to take a death in the first 2 rounds, and just absolutely dominates another BDS attack.
So about them bans, is the only way I can summarize it so far. He has the same number of kills as every other player in the lobby right now combined. That's how much impact, yet again, Shaiko is having across the start of the game. Now, even in that round there, though, there were a number of things that MNM did completely spot on. Sure, player in bathroom got blindsided by the Cocktail angle, whatever. But for me, it was Usis on the downstairs, and what really frustrated me was someone pushed in through Snow Door. They knew that Usis was downstairs inside a reading, yet he still gets left largely alone and gets the freebie C4 onto the Cocktail player. So even when BDS know that they are at risk of being C4'd, MNM is still managing to make room to make the play happen. They had a black eye on bar this whole end of the round as well. They could see when the plant was going down. They had all bases covered, but the only thing you can't cover for with utility and positioning, unfortunately, is Shaiko just doming 3 of you in a single round. He is the reverse James Bond at the minute as well, absolutely dragging his team through 2 rounds. But Tim, we'll come back to the last map. that doesn't always spell good fortune, especially when things switch sides.
No, exactly that. And I think, you know, as much as can you rely on Shaiko getting kills throughout the game and continuing at that pace? Yeah, you can do sometimes, is the honest answer. That's the reality. You know, should BDS is a completely different question, and the answer is, of course, they shouldn't. You know, they need to be careful because, like you say, if Eminem find an answer, if they start to sort of take him off the boil, it becomes very difficult. Beautiful opener from Alems there on the Cali. He's been playing a bit of that operator recently, and great footage we get of it as well. It allows BDS to move in on the Monty. And this is, again, BDS just looking like they are moving at a rapid pace.
Absolutely. This one's good because they've actually moved at pace, Tim. That's the most important part. They've used BDS as the spearhead. Eminem can't really get a side flank off here because there's a man watching this north window. It's Liquidfact sat on the nuts, and the rest of them can do some work on the push through here. They've just got to respect things like the vertical angles. But if Nafe gets a little bit too overconfident here, this will very quickly become a 5 versus 2.
Shaiko won't need much of an invitation on the long angle, just watching it through the line of sight hole that has been opened up. Of course, they work in both directions. 5 versus 3. BDS just taking the foot off the gas a little bit in this round, and I think they're probably right to do so. You know, they don't need to get carried away. Lems has got them 2 fantastic kills on the Cali without putting himself in too much danger. Solotov and Usus is gone. As you say, they're looking to just confirm that vertical and start applying more pressure into sight. And why not? You've got 1:30 left to go. You've got a 2-man advantage. You know, this is fine from BDS.
Do they respect Nafe, though? Do they still know that someone could come pushing on the north side and really... Oh, man, that's going to be a stinger. They couldn't push forward through prep because of the vertical player, but now the vertical player, Nello, again, not to rag on the guy, but he's not exactly the biggest fragger on the team, has just put Liquidfact on his backside. Now, BDS is getting smoked out as well. They haven't got the vertical control. He's down to a slither of HP, and despite BDS trying to narrow their attacking angle as much as possible, they're still being shut down and damaged here by MNM, who have got full map control.
I don't think they're really aware of Nafe on that flank either. Oh, they are. Just as I say it, Caster's Curse. Shaiko manages to find him, Ranshiro onto Tyrant, and all of a sudden, just like that, Eminem looked like they were going to do the business, but Shaiko with a double closes it out, and that's going to be BDS 3-0. This one is running away from Eminem quickly.
It is. And off the back again of one big player, really. And that round there, it was... I think Nafe, bless him, he played that out the way that anyone in that situation would do, that you expect to have a player on small bait window. But him holding that angle for the longest amount of time and only then making a move after about 60 seconds once Liquidfact was long gone, he runs into the worst player possible, Shaiko, who finds him and then converts the final kill on Nello as well. It's another big round where, sure, it's not all down to Shaiko because Alem's got 2 kills very early on. But even with 2 players down, Eminem still put up a really good fight in that round, I thought.
It certainly looked like their best round of the 3.
Yes.
is what I will say.
5 kills across 3 rounds, Tim. Come on.
Yeah, it ended 4 versus 1. You know, I don't know how much of a fight was there come the end, but certainly the first half of the round was much better from Eminem. Nello controlled above very nicely. Didn't maybe have all the vertical holes he might have liked to be able to deal with BDS, for example, but still, yes, a good first half at least. But there's going to need to be a lot more where that comes from, is the reality. That's why I'm trying not to get too excited about Eminem here because, you know, BDS still looked really head and shoulders in front in that round. As soon as they got themselves a couple of kills, it was just run away with from that point. So they're going to be attacking this time up onto the top floor. We saw this back in round 2. BDS, as they have been throughout the rounds, were successful. It was the Shaiko 3k as he walked through sight and got the last couple. And Eminem, they're going to need to hold on to, if they want to play underneath with the Nitros, they can't lose bodies underneath like they did last time.
I guess the one thing about it is that you're looking down to the Candelas once again coming along here. A lot of vertical holes being opened up. I really thought with the castle on side we'd see the full reinforcement coming down on towards like Cigar side. But by the looks of it, Nafe has committed a couple of his castle barricades onto the downstairs as well to help out those playing in below. So you can clearly see for Eminem, they want to play from below. They want to play with those 2 C4s they've got in back pocket, informed by the Valkyrie, to pick up some freebies onto the side of BDS. Now, BDS can read into that and adapt their plan, but from what they've got on side here, Tim, I'm just seeing this as being a big screaming sight hit with the Ying and the Lion on side, a couple of nades to soften them up, a few flashes to really help contribute to the party as well. To me, that doesn't sound like a team super well equipped to worry about going on a full roam clear.
No, normally I would completely agree with you, and if it hadn't have been for the last time we saw him attack this site and dump all the utility in and not follow it,
that's the problem.
you know, but normally speaking, yes, I would agree. Users just watching those white stairs. Leakafak is roaming around underneath looking to see who he can pick up on that clearance. They might just want to pay a bit more attention to that flank, because Leakafak could cause a real problem at that point if given the opportunity. Shaco thinking about getting down there to support as well, maybe. But yeah, Eminem are committing to that hold from underneath, looking for the nitro denial, so they're going to have to go in there and clear them realistically at BDS, unless they know they're there and they're happy to plant regardless. No, you got to win that, users. Going to be 4 versus 3 though, as Solotov manages to get a triple in the middle on the Valkyrie. Fantastic play, and really one of those turnaround moments that Eminem needed at this point in time. 4 versus 2 now, and all of a sudden Bride and Ren Shiro are really up against it. They've still got plenty of time, 1 minute 15 to work with, but they're going to have to start finding kills, and that's going to be the question that we need to answer next, is whether they're able to or not.
Onwards they march then. Let's just say everything's just kind of exploded out there, and so much off the back of Solotov on that march on through. Big 3 coming out. From there, it's trying to convert this round to get their first one on the board. We are having a couple of Discord issues, by the way, so we'll go on with it. And no, Tim, I wasn't speaking. I was just letting you and trusting that you'd take it. And I'm sure you will, give it how excited you get. Smokes will come in. They're going to try and make this one work. No C4s in back pocket to play behind, mind you. And he won't get away with it as Tyrant has found his man. One comes back. Eminem, they finally get that round on the board.
That was perfect timing. Just as you were telling me that you weren't speaking, you cut off again. So I just had to hope that you'd take at the end of the round, which you did.
How do they build that synergy?
How do they build that synergy? How do they know? Eminem then managed to get themselves a round on the board. They're going to need to follow it with another couple realistically. Attack does tend to be the better side of things on Cafe, but I think against BDS, whose map choice it is, who are going to be proficient here on the defense, they're gonna really want a 3-3 half if they can here, Eminem. But it's gonna be a tall order. It's gonna be a tough ask, because whilst they were able to shut down, it came on the back of a hero play. Solotov on the mid round got a triple kill and just really sort of cut that BDS defense, as the attack, sorry, in half. And it really gave Eminem everything they needed to win the round. They can't rely on that happening every time though.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But this really was the story of Club a little bit as well, was Solotov popping off for the first couple of rounds. Shaco muted finally in that previous round and really kept quiet. I'm not saying that's really going to be the be-all, end-all for them, but there is that correlation there that when Shaco is kept quiet, BDS really struggled to find some rounds. So let's see how this one plays out. Very similar setup to previous as well. Main difference here, which may suggest it was a mistake last time, is there isn't a reinforcement on the left side storage wall facing out towards piano side. Last time around, they accidentally reinforced it, I think, which one sort of hindered the black mirror that you can see here looking, the one towards the right. That's the one, thank you very much. That left one was reinforced off, so it hindered both mirror windows really, and somewhat reduced their impact. This time round, they're completely soft, so now they should be able to see absolutely everything.
Going to be getting that reading room open really early, 30 seconds into the round, and that's just made Eminem's life a lot more difficult, realistically, because it's going to really limit what they can do in and out of that site and the rotations, that's going to allow them sort of in through laundry to move through all over the place. So definitely going to be restrictive and difficult for them. Just trying to take out that utility. I think that's been done, so the hopping can be made silently at the point where it needs to be. 1 minute off the clock so far, 2 minutes left to go, and BDS are clearing out a lot of utility very well here.
Ready for Leakafak working his way up as well. Good up gadgets through the soft wall, taken out as well. Starting his crawl across, and this has really been his role this entire game, has been to be making plays like this, getting into the back line and causing issues for BDS, whether it's for BDS, for Eminem, sorry, getting off on the flank, for example, but a great response by Nave to sleuth across, help out Nello. It does mean the Fenrir is offline, which is a little bit of a stinger, but the damage really has been done. Leakafak is offline, and now all eyes undoubtedly turn towards Shaco once more.
At 9-1 so far, he's been an absolute menace again here on Cafe. 15 kills it was on Clubhouse, but it wasn't enough to take the map. So, as we've said a couple of times, others on BDS needing to step up, and looking so far, Elem's on 2 and Shiro on 3. They just need that little bit more from them to take the pressure off that front line. Shaiko just dipping and diving at the minute, trying to get an angle, trying to get something, just a smell, a sniff of an enemy that he can make a challenge on. Naf's going to take an absolute ton of damage there, but Shaiko's going to be the dangerous one. Look at that. What a beautiful shot onto Users. Just finds him next to the pillar and hits shots almost around the corner as User steps back. But Tyrant does manage to find a Lems. 3 versus 3, 30 seconds left.
I did say all eyes turn to him, and Shaiko's got the right idea. He's hunting after Napier, who's dancing around on red. But BDS getting in for a plant as well. Is there anyone to stop him here? He's got some cover coming in from Shaiko a little bit late. Will they see him through the vertical? No, they will not. He has got away with this one, and BDS once again in full control, Tim. Oh, man, freebie.
Just need to hold their angles now. It's so free for Shaiko as he hears Solotov above him, steps around, gets the kill. Tyrant, just I think a little bit of gamesmanship there. I'll open up, I'll make a bit of noise, I'll make them look in a different direction, I'll try the distraction. But BDS, they will not be distracted. They've got their eyes on the prize here on Cafe. It's 4-1 now, Des.
Yeah, I'll always say it, Tim. You know exactly what line's coming out of me next. Wait until we get to that second half. Not quite how I'd normally say it, but same message. Things can change massively once BDS get onto the defense. You'd hope not. This is a total turnaround, let's not forget as well, as it was actually on the attack back on Club where BDS really struggled. Here, though, they are absolutely flying. And one thing I will always say is, realistically, if a team is picking the map, they've got to be good at attacking it. In this meta, when things are generally more defender-leaning again, you've got to see that capability to pick a map and go, because we've got some strats, we've got ideas on how to attack this, we're ready to go. And really, teams do tend to fall apart a bit when it comes to the attack when they're going into a map they're not too familiar with. It's easy to defend a map that you don't know than it is to attack a map you don't know particularly well.
It's going to be Kitchen once again. We've seen this attack twice, round 1, round 3. BDS wins both times. They've had the answers to anything MNM have tried. They tried to sort of hold off site with a clash inside. That didn't work out for them in round 1. And then in round 3, they tried to hold on to it with a more vertical hold. But again, BDS were not thrown off by it and were able to get it done. It was certainly closer the second time around. Solotov just looking for a cheeky peek there to kick things off. He's not going to get any joy, I don't think, as very careful routes are being taken in towards the building.
Absolutely. Cameras spotted out as well. It always feels like a risk when teams aren't running an IQ. Obviously here, BDS not being one of those teams, do want to make sure they've got the ability to find out those black eye cameras and shut them down. Been stung a couple of times throughout the first half where they have had everything bared open, whether it's come to a bar hit, for example, that Shaiko then just goes, I don't care if you can see me, I can still shoot you first. But it has worked against them, or at least helps Eminem in a number of situations, so I'm glad that BDS are showing that respect.
The drones are raining around. Drones are going to be missed, so that will allow them to continue on. Again, something that MNM need to make sure that they're picking up, dealing with that information utility. Still 9 on side for BDS, so an absolute ton of information at their disposal. Leakerfac moving across, looking to take out any gadgets from above, signalling them to his teammates where he can't shoot them out himself, so at least they can be aware of the position and the potential impact. Going to use those soft breach charges now to get working on these verticals.
Indeed, they shall, and with a good amount of time as well here still, 100 seconds to play within the round. Doesn't feel like it's anything to scoff at. The only thing I'm nervous about is, again, remembering from Nello previously, got himself kind of caught in a corner and completely burned out by the Capitao on the side of BDS. This time around, he's got himself up on the counter, not wanting to get himself anywhere near the ground, as really the floor becomes lava once that play starts out. And also just making sure no flanks come on through. Gridlock tracks down towards Red Stairs. Feels here like BDS is slowly starting to set up this net before they start thinking about the execute.
Yeah, very much the same hold as we saw last time back in round 1 from MNM, with the clash hold up in the corner and everybody else away from site now, just trying to hold from the outside in. But it's something that BDS dealt with very well last time, and they start to do it again as Elems, he gets the opener onto Solotov. We've got 45 seconds left to work with for the attackers. Plenty of time for BDS to get this done. They're just burning through that utility. There's one toxic baby Nerve canister left to come that hasn't been thrown by Tyrant yet, so the time keeps on ticking. But Shaiko, he's going to need to win some fights down there in VIP.
Oh, the jump out from Nath as well. He's been so disruptive throughout this entire series. Shaiko finds Nath there at the back. I don't think he meant to find Nath. He meant to find the player on the shield in Tyrant, but gets the man behind him as well. Could have been a collat lining up there. BDS, though, in a relatively good position, able to start thinking about this plan if they can get the player inside a bakery. He is the real headache inducer right now. Tyrant goes down. A 3v2 for BDS with only 5 seconds on the clock. They've got to make this plan happen. LMs gets inside a bunker, coming in through double door. Shaiko goes huge with yet another 3K. BDS, what a first half they've had, but again, Tim, I cannot get away from so much of it coming down to the presence of Shaiko and the shots that he is hitting.
Yeah, it certainly is, you know, being a driving force round to round, but Renshiro's kill at the end of the round there can't be understated as well. That was so important because, of course, that last MNM player came in looking for the plant going down, sees Lem's head, and one bullet would have ended that round in the favour of MNM. That shot had to be hit by Renshiro at exactly the moment that it was. So very well played there, BDS locking that one down. 5-1 on the defensive half. Sorry, on the attacking half. They now move on to the defence, and they only need to find 2 successful rounds here. And MNM, they've got to be feeling a bit beaten up at the minute. They've used their tactical timeout. That was between round 3 and 4. They did win the following round, but they haven't been able to win any more since.
And Shaiko's got 27 kills across both of the 2 first halves of these first 2 maps. Just ludicrous. I know we're not looking like a map stat there, but to come out in your first 6 rounds and be at 27 kills is absolutely ludicrous. And I know we keep on saying his name, but it's just so hard not to when, yet again, he has more kills than I think than whole of his team combined. Yep, he's one ahead. Everyone else is on 13 collectively. And even here, he sits ahead of everyone else on the side of MNM too. It's just one-man army is the best summary I can really give to this one. Sure, everyone else is contributing, but it's Shaiko's world. Everyone else just exists within it.
Lems is going to pick up Nath on a spawn peak to kick things off. And Lems just starts going off, manages to find Nello as well, and that is not the start that Eminem wanted. As I said, BDS only need 2 rounds to lock Cafe down. They're defending the top floor, which, you know, statistically isn't always one of the best. Lems manages to get 3, he won't get any more, but I think his job might be done there, Des.
Yeah, I think you can say job well done. Agent Lems, take your retirement, my good sir. 3 kills inside a piano. And I hate to say this, but it looks amateur from MNM as well, just giving him the constant 1v1s, constantly looking in towards the spawn peak as well. It barely had to move his feet. There was no pressure on the man either as well, and he has all but shut them down in this round. Still a chance that they can work things out here with Uzus and Tyrant working their way through. 3 frag grenades on side, waiting for the swing to come on through, but Renshiro's hit his man first, goes for the second, hits the deck. And it's just Yuzu's left now against 3 on the side of BDS. Shaiko comes in because he definitely wants his kill in at least this round. Has found it. BDS move up to map point.
It's terrifying when you think, and as you say, you know, we don't necessarily want to keep going on about him, but he just makes it so difficult. That's 15 kills in both games now for Shaiko, which leaves us at 30 kills. And this one's only had 7 rounds. Like, that's ridiculous. This could be over in 8 rounds and he could be at 30 plus kills with one of the maps having fewer than 8 rounds. Generally, when you look at, you know, kill records and things, at least 1 or 2 of the maps will have had some overtime. You'll have had at least plenty of rounds to, you know, to rack those kills up, but he's just absolutely unstoppable at the minute.
It feels so easy for your analysis to just be, yeah, Shaiko go kill. That's how this is playing out, but it really is in a lot of these rounds. Yes, the last one came down to LMs, but that feels like the first time we've really celebrated the player on the side of BDS having a significant impact on the outcome of a round. For Eminem, it is a very tall hill to climb now. They need 5 rounds in a row. They can't obviously win in regulation. The very least they can do is force overtime, but that is a very, very hard hill to climb.
Let's get into it then. It's going to be the action phase as BDS kick off what could be their final defense. It's going to be of Kitchen. Shaiko on the Solus is a terrifying prospect given how he's been playing so far. Leaker back on the Warden as well. They're going to want to keep him alive as long as possible. I'm looking over to Nath on the Capitao, bringing that smoke utility along. So they're definitely going to want to have that ability of the Warden to just flick the glasses on, see through that smoke. There's Tyrant as well with smoke canisters in hand. hand. So it's definitely going to be a part of the push here. Nello likely moving in through that obscured vision if Leakafak isn't there to do something about it.
Elem starting off again, though. Shock horror. Had such a good time inside the piano that he thought it was worth going back for a second time. Not playing inside the piano here, but still getting that early kill off the rip. Less than 40 seconds into the round. It was a very different story last time round when they were the ones attacking with Bride on the Monty. He was, of course, playing on the Carly. Found themselves with 2 kills very early into the round. Here he's really shutting down that possibility before Eminem can get cooking.
At the minute, like you say, Lems, we've said a couple of times that BDS need some other players to, you know, take a little bit of the pressure to just step up and get those extra kills and push BDS over the line. I'm not convinced it's absolutely necessary when Sharko's playing like he is, to be fair, but Users takes down Ranshiro. Lems, however, has really stepped up over the last couple of rounds, has had some really, really big moments. Going to take a lot of damage there, but does manage to escape with his life as Sharko manages to get kill 31 for the night, 16 here on Cafe. And that leaves us now 4 versus 3 with the fear that you've got Sharko looking for that flank through Small Bakery.
He's just going to be waiting here as well. Solotov sets one single step wrong, and he is a goner. Beautiful thing is, I think you know, it's just too easy. It is just too easy. Drops a donk on Solotov, 17-1 inside a single map. Might even make it 18-1 here. Finds his man, uses down to... No! The Pokeball comes out and gets the close, but not before he does go down to Users. At this point, it's just Sharko's world, and we are all living in it. A massive 7-1 for BDS and 18 kills for Sharko. Unreal.
I love how not even being shot can stop him getting kills. He literally gets killed and he's still let go of the impact nade that is going to find that final one. 18-2 and 9 KD. It's difficult to talk about anything else.